After Roman Reigns' WrestleMania loss, everybody was speculating if he was done with wrestling. And we got an update from him today via Twitter saying this is only day one on his journey. And if you combine that with Triple H's comments saying he has a mind-blowing storyline coming up for Roman Reigns, we are going to be in for something special. And we're going to break it down coming up on this episode of Wrestle Digest. But before we get into it, just gotta say that 89% of you guys watching the videos aren't subscribed to the channel, so if you're looking for a home, a second home, a third home for wrestling content here on YouTube, you found it right here at Wrestle Digest. But with that said, let's get right into the first topic of the video, main topic of the video today, which is Triple H hints at a major Roman Reigns storyline. And first, we did get some comments from Triple H saying that he may be one of the greatest of all time, talking about Roman Reigns. Obviously, he's talking about how great of a storyteller he is, how many epic moments he has had over the years. And then later on in this interview, he did say that to do what he did tonight with Cody Rhodes, it's not completing the story. It's just getting to the end of this chapter. Because he's going to go on a whole new story now that is going to blow people's minds, I think. I know he's going to take it to a whole nother level, but I can tell you how much respect I have for Roman Reigns. And when you look at what he put up on Twitter today, and you see that Roman Reigns tweeted out a little workout video of him on the treadmill saying, "Yesterday I mourned, and today is day one," I think we have something really big coming up in the WWE in regards to Roman Reigns, Josh.
Well, there was so much speculation after that documentary, biography, whatever you want to call it, aired on A&E, where Roman said, like, hey, if I don't beat Cody, I'm done, right? Naturally, everyone's going to want to speculate. Roman had full control over what went out there. So people were wondering, like, is that really it? It can't be it, right? I mean, he just inducted Paul Heyman into the Hall of Fame. They were supposed to originally have Roman versus Rock at this WrestleMania, and that has been confirmed, basically. So if they were to go ahead with that, Rock, I mean, I don't think there's any way Rock would have broken that, universal title streak. Maybe he would have, but regardless, you got to think that even if it was Rock and Roman at this WrestleMania, Roman would have been planned to have a story come into the summer. So when they did make that change of plans for Cody to eventually defeat him at WrestleMania, well, what comes next? And I think that's what we're getting teased here. And we're going to get into some of these theories a bit later, Casey, I know for sure. But honestly, I'm just super glad to see and hear that it seems like Roman Reigns is not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, as for when he will make his return to WWE television, I guess we don't know. But I'm predicting one of the bigger pops we've seen in a minute, which is kind of crazy when we're talking about Roman Reigns, the guy that so many people hated but ended up loving by the time his reign concluded.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, with the We Want Cody movement, it kind of threw a wrench into the plans of Triple H here, and I think it's going to work out for the better. Because I think they're going to kind of reform Roman Reigns here and just create a whole new story that the fans are going to love. And when Triple H calls you one of the greatest of all time, you got to take that to heart because he's one of the greatest of all time himself, and I know he has something special, in store for him because as we seen with WrestleMania 39, when he talked about Cody Rhodes and what happened there, he promised something big. And what happened? We got a year-long journey of Cody versus the Bloodline to culminate here at WrestleMania 40 by him winning the title. And we also hear from Jey Uso in a recent interview where he says, the story is still getting written for the Bloodline and for Roman Reigns. So teasing that there is some stuff coming down the pipeline. And one of the theories, one of the speculations I've seen online is obviously The Rock versus Roman. I think this is something that we will see eventually because it is something that Triple H wanted to do for this WrestleMania. So I think we will see that later down the line. And I think it's really going to be a banger if it does happen.
Well, the benefit we have of this, of the story being finished with Cody Rhodes, is now you're not shoehorned into putting Roman Reigns in these big title matches at PLEs anymore. I think you have a lot more freedom to kind of do some more interesting things where he can sort of afford to have matches with some other people, whoever it may be. I mean, we know now Jey Uso, just fresh off his win to be the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't think he's going to take it off Damian Priest, but you never know. But now, like you said, we got Roman versus Rock that could go one way. We don't know if that Rock Cody handoff thing has something to do with the bloodline or Roman Reigns. It very well could. And with some of these teasers we're seeing, I'm starting to believe that maybe more and more. And check out the video from earlier today that the KC did. I mean, fantastic theories there talking about what The Rock could have handed Cody Rhodes. But I really like this. I like that Roman is probably going to come back later this year, maybe around the same time Rock comes back, because I think you're right. I think no matter what, you have to have those two intertwined in a story. But not only that, I think there's a lot of other tie-ins you can have, like this Jimmy versus Jay matchup at WrestleMania. While it was, in my opinion, and I think in most people's opinions, the worst match of WrestleMania, is what it is. Not going to complain too much about that. But that's not the end of their story. Like, it feels like it was supposed to culminate into something, but the build wasn't really there, and the match didn't really have that finish you wanted. So what are you going to do with them? And I think it's going to be nice and easy to tie Roman and Rock back into this whole thing. Whether you tie in Solo Sikoa too, there's still going to be some bloodline stuff coming for the foreseeable future. And I feel like that's almost a certainty.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, and I think this Rock versus Roman match would be a great match, but I think an even better way to go about it would be if, what The Rock handed Cody was that bead from the necklace, the Ulafala necklace of Roman Reigns, but when The Rock comes back, he takes out Roman Reigns, setting up a triple threat match between Roman Reigns, Cody, and The Rock. I think this would be like kind of the end of that kind of story, because you have The Rock versus Roman, which you always wanted to do. That was the plan from the beginning. But now you have Cody Rhodes, the guy who kind of came in and ruined it all, facing off in a triple threat match, maybe a triple threat Bloodline rules match. I think that could be pretty interesting.
That. Yeah, I think so too. And hey, you know what? We're saying triple threat, but you never know along the way. Maybe that's what we're setting up for next WrestleMania. Who knows? Maybe Cody will have lost the title by then. We don't know. But of course, with the rumors all about Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu also joining WWE, there's a lot of different ways they can go with this. So regardless of which way they end up choosing, I have faith in Triple H and Roman Reigns as well. I mean, this guy has elevated himself and has elevated the WWE to a level that we haven't seen in a long time. And I think seeing him get away from this champion that everyone kind of wanted to finally see lose, it's just going to make him so much more lovable. And I think it's going to be a pseudo face turn, right? When he finally shows back up, which again can go against this heel Rock. There's so many potential things lined up, and I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, wrestling is fun again. Wrestling is cool again. I love it. I am so much into it now than I was when I was a kid. Like, I'm reading behind the stories and stuff like now. I love it. And, there is some other theories that we could see play out here, with one of them being maybe a possible Shield return. I mean, this is one that, me personally, I would love to see, because I am a big Shield guy. I have been a big Shield guy for a long time, and I know Dean Ambrose's contract is up in 2027, which is years down the road, but could we see Triple H maybe pry him from AEW to make the Shield reunite? It could be a possibility.
There's a lot of stuff going on right now between that forbidden door. What did I say? I saw something earlier saying like prohibited portal or something like that. People using different terms. I think it was Natalia talking about how she wanted to have a match with Jordynne Grace of TNA. But just like Jordynne Grace, we saw her come into the WWE Royal Rumble, right? That forbidden door broken between TNA and WWE. And we are hearing more and more and more AEW references on WWE TV, openly talking about superstars that are over at the company, openly talking about matches that happened at AEW. It's at an astonishing rate right now. And while I don't think Tony Khan and AEW have any intention of letting the WWE use some of their top stars, you never really know what kind of agreement could come into place. And I'm talking about before Jon Moxley, Dean Ambrose contract is up in AEW. I'm talking in the next couple of years, right? But even if it does take until 2027, would it really surprise you to see these guys kind of culminate their story in a few years? Even you start building these things between Roman and Seth. I think he did the Shield thing for a reason. And while, yes, this was part of the Cody Rhodes story, saying, Seth Rollins saying, "I will be your Shield, Cody." He, of course, on that Raw before Mania, came in through the crowd to his own theme music, then did the full Shield outfit, Shield music at WrestleMania. It could be planting a seed, and knowing Triple H, these seeds, like, while that could have just been the culmination of a story, it could also be the seed to start a new one. So I don't think it's that insane. I think that looking down the line, when these guys are getting into their early mid 40s, which is going to happen there in the next 3, 4, 5 years, it's not that crazy to see them ride off into the sunset together, maybe having that one final triple threat match at Mania that we have always, always wanted.
I mean, you said it perfectly there. Another thing that kind of just popped into my head while you were speaking was we see AEW has the Trios Championship. Could we see WWE maybe implement a six-man tag, kind of championship? So when the Shield comes back and maybe reunites, they are the first holders of that championship.
You know what? I actually kind of like that. And you know what's funny? That actually brings me back to last night on Monday Night Raw with the Awesome Truth plus the man you can't see. I was like, tag team match for the titles, but they want to make it a six-man match? Was that a teaser in and of itself? Probably not. It was probably just a way to get a big pop with R-Truth and his childhood hero John Cena, which was a phenomenal moment on that Raw after WrestleMania. But I don't think it's that crazy. I think it's something that is becoming more and more common in the wrestling industry. And with the sheer amount of talent that's in the WWE right now and with all the other promotions, it doesn't seem insane to me to have some trios teams start, building up, eventually leading to maybe a single trios title. So, we're talking a couple of years down the line. I think it'd actually maybe be crazy if we didn't have one, considering how popular it's been in AEW. So I really like that theory.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of reel in here, I see it in AEW.
Speculation.
I know they don't want to copy AEW,
No.
verbatim here, but I think, like you said, with all the talent that's coming up, with all the factions we see arise, I think this would be the one. I think, maybe Imperium, they're a three-man faction. They could be in the mix for this as well. But I think this is something that we will see down the line. And I think it's something that they're probably gearing up for. But if we're talking about the Shield, we're talking about Seth versus The Rock. Or versus The Rock. Seth versus Roman, sorry. Not The Rock. Yeah, the both. We're talking about Seth versus Roman. Obviously, we've seen at WrestleMania the 10 years of pain when Seth hit him with the steel chair. Now him getting his payback and costing himself the championship by hitting him back. This kind of builds up into maybe a future feud. Obviously, we don't know the future of Seth Rollins right now. We don't know what they have in store for him. So maybe a Seth versus Roman kind of cluing up the Shield could be a storyline that's mind-blowing that, Triple H wants to put in play.
I mean, this is something that I think a lot of fans would like to see. I mean, I feel like it'd be fairly easy to turn Seth heel at whatever point. Now, while I personally prefer him, right? Do I prefer him as a babyface? I think I maybe do, but I don't know. It's hard with him. I think I just enjoy Seth Rollins no matter what he's doing because he's goofy, he's weird, and I love that. But, with Roman eventually coming back, I think the appreciation will be there that it'd be super easy to turn him face, regardless of if he goes face or heel, if he aligns with the bloodline, whatever. You can turn them whatever way you want. And I think it can work out very well for both of them going after each other. And again, though, I think in a situation like this, though, I think you'd have to turn Roman face, at least in the near future if you're doing this, and turn Seth heel. Because again, there's these seeds planted as well that maybe Seth feels underappreciated by Cody after this WrestleMania thing. Cody didn't shout him out in his Raw After Mania thing. He didn't really celebrate with Seth in the ring. He celebrated with LA Knight more than he did with Seth Rollins after the victory, even though Rollins was his Shield. That handshake with that stern look from Rollins, maybe some seeds planted there. But if Roman comes back as a face, let's just be hypothetical here, right? This is all just speculation, and Seth stays heel, I think it can make sense for Roman to finally get that victory over Seth Rollins, a guy who's gotten the better of Roman every time they've matched up, for better or for worse. So I think that could very well be one of the ways they go, and whether that involves the bloodline, Jimmy, Jay, Solo, whatever that is, who knows? But I think that one way or another, Casey, you're going to get Roman versus Seth, whether it's another tag, whether it's a trios match, whether it's whatever. I think there's no way that if Roman sticks around and stays a regular figure in WWE, that you don't at least see them have it one big feud.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with everything you're saying here, and I think this would be obviously a banger match. It's a main draw. It's going to be something that, a lot of people are going to be looking forward to. They kind of want to see the conclusion of the Shield by Roman finally getting the upper hand on Seth. I think this would be a great match, and I think if there's a way for the Shield to reunite, this is the way to do it. You see your two brothers battling, and the crazy, unhinged Dean Ambrose comes back to repair them as one team. I think this is the way they're going to do it, but we want to hear your guys' craziest theories for Roman Reigns down below in the comment section. Let us know, what are you thinking? You thinking on the same page as us? Do you have something else? Let us know down below. We're going to get into a new topic here on the channel, which is comment of the day, and the comment of the day today goes to Matthew. He says, Casey, you are spot on. MJF is something special, a generational talent. You don't get talked up by people like Punk and Rhodes at such a young age if you're not. Hoping he rocks up on Raw tonight. And unfortunately, I mean, we didn't get to see him on Raw after Mania last night, Josh.
No, we didn't. I know there was it was basically pure speculation, with most people seemingly agreeing he has already re-signed with AEW. It's just not been leaked and it's not necessarily in the dirt sheets yet, but by all accounts, everything is pointing towards that. However, if the WWE could ever land a guy like MJF, I want to see those scarves flying. I want to see his mic skills. I want to see everything MJF has to offer, because Casey, there's a reason he is pumped up like that by so many of the titans of the industry. It's because he's a jack of all trades and arguably a master of all of them. I just love everything about MJF, and I'd really hope to see him in WWE someday.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the world. It's always my crazy take. He's one of the best. I think he is the best heel in the world, and I think he belongs at the best company in the world with Paul Levesque at WWE. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're enjoying these videos, these wrestling kind of theory videos, the news and rumor videos we're doing every day here on the channel, make sure down below and hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the content we are doing. And if you want to check out a video we did earlier today, it'll be popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I've been your host, Casey, alongside my co-host, Josh. We'll catch you in the next one.